In this video, I'll be showing you everything you need to know on how to use the Interactive Brokers desktop platform. IBKR Desktop combines the simplicity of the web portal with the advanced customizability of TWS, giving you a platform that is both beginner-friendly while still offering professional-grade tools. I will guide you through all the important setups you need to get started, how to customize your workspace, place trades, analyze fundamentals, use stock screeners, and explore the options chain. And by the end of this video, you will be comfortable navigating IBKR Desktop and making it work for your own investing style. I will also be adding timestamps to the chapters down below so that you can easily skip to the section that matters most to you. Alright, let's first go through some important setup first. Getting all this right at the start will save you a lot of headaches later on. First up, dark mode. As they say, once you go black, you never go back. Personally, I find dark mode to be more comfortable on the eyes, especially if I don't want to go blind while checking my portfolio in the middle of the night. To enable dark mode, just click on the settings button at the bottom left hand side. Then just choose dark mode or light mode if you prefer. Totally up to you. Next, let's talk about pricing plans. One of the most common mistakes beginners make on IBKR is getting overcharged on commissions. By default, IBKR places you on a fixed pricing plan, which comes with higher minimum commissions. This plan is more suited for people trading in large amounts, say $50,000 or more. But if you're only buying a few $1,000s worth of stocks each time, it is not ideal. To avoid paying unnecessary fees, you have two options. First, the light pricing plan, which gives you zero commissions on the US market. Though, the catch is that the trades outside of the US will fall back to the fixed pricing plan, which can be costly. This makes the light pricing plan only suitable if you trade exclusively in the US market. So if you want lower commissions not just in the US, but also on other markets as well, I recommend the tiered pricing plan. It generally works out to be cheaper for smaller trades and is the most flexible choice for global investors. Switching is simple. Just click on the search bar at the top, type pricing plan, then click on any of the search results that appear. Click on change pricing structure. This will open up the web portal. From there, you can choose the plans that you want. Click continue and the change will usually take effect within one business day. Now that your pricing plan is sorted out, the next step is to set your base currency. This is the currency IBKR uses as your account's default when reporting balances, profit and loss, and overall performance. Typically, you want to choose the currency of the market that you generally trade in. For example, if you mainly invest in US stocks, it makes sense to set a base currency to US dollar. Or if your portfolio consists mostly of Singapore stocks, then you might prefer SGD. That way, your balances, profit and loss, and reports are shown in a consistent currency without any extra FX conversions to confuse you. To change the base currency, search for Change Base Currency. Click on the first result, then click Change Base Currency. This will bring you to the web portal. From there, simply pick the currency that you want, hit save, and the update will usually take effect by the next business day. Next, depending on your risk tolerance and the instruments that you want to trade, you may want to switch your account type to between cash accounts and margin accounts. A cash account allows you to only trade with the money that you have deposited, which makes it safer and easier to manage. On the other hand, a margin account gives you access to leverage and lets you trade more advanced instruments, such as options, but it also comes with higher risk. To change your account type, search for Change Account Type in IBKR Desktop. Click on How can I change my account type between margin and cash, then request downgrade to cash account. From there, you'll be able to choose between cash and margin. Just submit the request and IBKR will process the change, usually within one business day. Last but not least, trading permissions. If you want to trade in other markets or access more instruments like options, futures or forex, you will need to enable the right permissions in your accounts first. To do that, search for Manage Trading Permission. Click on the first result, then click Manage Trading Permission. In the web portal, click on the instrument that you want to request trading permission for. For example, stocks. Then just select the country that you want to enable trading permission, such as the UK and the Switzerland market. Also, while you are here, make sure Global Trade in Fractions is enabled, as this will let you trade fractional shares later on. Click Continue. If all goes well, your trading permission will be approved within 2 business days. Now that we have gotten the essential setups out of the way, let's move on to the Portfolio tab. This is where you'll find an overview of all your holdings, cash balances, and overall performance in one place. By default, you will see a long list of columns, many of which you probably don't need. So let's clean this up so that it only shows the information that only matters. To customize your view, click on the settings button at the top right of the portfolio page. From here, you can remove the clutter and keep only the essentials. The columns that I find most useful are the instrument name, which tells you what stock or ETF you are looking at, your position size, the last traded price, and the daily percentage change. It's also helpful to keep the trend indicator for a quick snapshot of price movement, along with your daily P&L, average price, market value, and unrealized profit and loss to track performance. On top of this, I also recommend adding the percentage of net liquidity, which shows the allocation of each holding within your portfolio. This way, you will know at a glance how much weight each position carries without having to calculate it manually. Once you are happy with the setup, close the window and you will see a much cleaner and more meaningful portfolio view. Just above the table, you will notice a drop-down labeled Portfolio View. Clicking on it allows you to switch between different layouts depending on your investment style. For instance, dividend investors might prefer the Dividend Focus view, which shows dividend-related information, while those who prefer company analysis might choose the Fundamentals view to display key ratios. If you want to, you can also create your custom view tailored to your needs. Finally, the Edit button at the top right lets you choose which portfolio metrics you want to display. For instance, you might want to add the Special Memorandum Account or SMA info to track your available margin balance, which can give you a clearer picture of your buying power. Moving on, to view more detailed information about a stock or instrument, simply double-click on it from your portfolio. This will open up the Quote tab, where you will see the live quote, an interactive stock chart, and key details about the instrument. Now, if the chart looks familiar, that's because it is powered by TradingView. It is a powerful and highly customizable charting tool. So let's start by going through some of the ways you can customize it. First, you can adjust the time period of the chart. For example, if you are a trader, you might prefer shorter intervals like the 1-hour chart to monitor intraday movements. But if you are more of a long-term investor, the daily chart will give you a clearer picture of long-term price movements. One useful tip here is that you can click on the star icon next to any time period to pin it. That way, your preferred intervals will always appear on the top bar, and you can quickly toggle between them without having to dig through the menu each time. Next, if you are using the candlestick chart pattern, you might notice that the default colors may look a little too bright. If you prefer the default colors that TradingView is using, here's how you can easily adjust it. Right-click anywhere on the chart, open Settings, select the first green color, click the plus icon, and enter the code that you see on the screen. Repeat this for all the green colors. Then, for the red colors, change them to the code that you see here. This will make the chart much easier on the eyes while giving it a cleaner and more professional look. Oh yeah, while you are already in the settings, you can also make sure that the time zone is set to your local time zone. For instance, since I'm based in Singapore, I switched mine to the Singapore time zone so that the candlesticks are aligned properly with my trading day. Next, if you prefer working with shorter time frames, such as the hourly chart, you may also want to enable extended trading hours. To do this, right-click on the chart again, go back to Settings, and under Session, change it to Extended Trading Hours. This allows you to see pre-market and after-hours activity, which is especially useful if you trade US stocks, where significant moves often happen outside regular market hours. Moving on to the indicators. Unlike the free version of TradingView, which limits you to just 2 indicators at a time, IBKR Desktop lets you add on as many as you need. Because obviously, the more indicators you have, the more accurate your astrology forecasting becomes. Just kidding, yeah? Personally, I like to keep the RSI indicator on my charts, as it gives me a quick way to see if a stock might be overbought or oversold. Another one I use is the Moving Average Stripper, which overlays 3 moving averages on the chart. To customize it, click on the 3 dots beside the indicator, go to Settings, then change the periods to 50, 100 and 200. After that, toggle Save as Default, so you won't have to redo it every time. So these are the 2 indicators I usually use. But before we wrap up the chart session, here's one last tip. If you happen to click on the full screen button, you might notice that the top bar disappears. Don't panic. To bring it back, just press the Escape key and the bar will pop back up. Next, on the left hand side, you can switch between your recent searches, portfolio holdings, watch list, and even any stock screener list that you have created. This makes it easy to jump between different lists depending on what you are working on. Then over to the right, you'll find a panel with quick information about the stock. If you already own the stock, you will also see your position details here. Further down, you'll see the latest news, key financial metrics, and even the consensus price targets from analysts. Nice. Alright, let's talk about how to buy or sell a stock. But before that, if you ever need to fund your account or convert your currency, as of making this video, the only way to do so is by clicking on your profile picture at the top and selecting Deposit Withdraw Funds. That will take you to the web portal, where you can handle both funding and currency conversion. Once your account is funded and ready to invest, let's move on to the order entry. This is where you can place your buy and sell orders. The most common way to place an order is to click on the buy or sell button. But let me show you another way to do it. If you hover your mouse over the stock chart, you will notice a small plus icon on the right. Wherever you hover, IBKR will use that price as your order's limit price. For example, here it shows buy NVIDIA at $150.30. So that's the limit price IBKR sets for me. Now, here's the pro tip. By default, IBKR sets the order size to 100 shares, which may be too much for some people. There's actually a way to change this default. Just click on settings at the bottom left, go to trading, stocks, and set a preferred default quantity, say 10 shares instead. You can even choose other quantity types and change other default settings. Once you are done, you can close the panel. Now, if you open a new buy order, you'll see that the custom default has already been automatically applied. Next, if you have enabled fractional shares, you'll be able to buy with as little as 0.0001 shares or $1. After that, feel free to change the order type to the one that you want. For the limit price, you can either type it in or simply drag the order line on the chart, and IBKR will adjust the price for you. Time enforced lets you set how long your order will be valid for. Do you want to fill outside regular trading hours? And if you are a trader, you might want to attach a profit taker and stop loss to your order. Here's another neat feature. IBKR allows you to save your order without submitting it. Just click Save, then head over to Portfolio Orders. Here, you'll find your saved orders which you can modify, submit, or cancel. Okay, here's another thing that I want to show you. At the buy order, right under the submit order button, there's an advanced button. Scroll all the way down till you see destination. By default, IBKR uses smart routing. This is their algorithm which automatically chooses the best exchange to execute your trade. This can often help you save on fees. In most cases, it is best to leave this on. But in some rare situations, smart routing might not give you the cheapest deal. For example, if you are buying SPYL, smart routing may route you to an exchange where you end up paying up to $4.70 in fees. But by manually selecting the London Stock Exchange, you could reduce that to about $2.09 instead. Besides that, another setting you want to enable is Use Price Management Algo. This is another IBKR algorithm designed to help reduce slippage and manage execution prices more effectively. Anyway, once you have set everything up, hit Submit. To check on your order, go to Portfolio, Orders, and you'll see it listed as pending. If it hasn't been matched yet, you can still modify it. Oh yeah, here's one more thing. You can also adjust your limit order directly from the chart. Just drag the buy order line up or down, and IBKR will update your order price automatically. Moving on to the Watchlist tab. Just like before, you can click the settings button at the top right to customize the columns. Personally, I like to keep it simple, so I will only keep last price, change percentage, trend, position, average price, and daily P&L. Next, clicking on the Watchlist wheel drop down at the top lets you switch between different layouts depending on your investment style. For example, whether you are focusing on performance or dividend focus or fundamentals. You can also click the plus icon on the left to create additional watchlists. Here, you can either build your own custom watchlist or pick from IBKR's pre-made ones. And of course, adding a stock is easy. Just click the heart icon over at the quotes panel or hit the plus button right below the watchlist to add your chosen stock. Next, let's talk about one very underrated feature of IBKR that I think most people should know about, and that is the fundamentals section. If you open any stock, you can click on the fundamentals tab to dive deeper into research. Let me minimize the quotes panel first. On the overview page, you will see a quick snapshot of the stock, Morningstar's opinion, key ratios, dividend info, financials, analyst ratings, and more. But let's start with Morningstar. Here, you'll find their full thesis on the stock, including the company's economic mode and Morningstar's fair value estimate. You can even access the full report if you want more details. Then over at TipRank's ratings, you'll find analyst consensus and price targets. Of course, these are just their opinions, so you will still need to do your own research. But if you notice that many analysts are bullish on that stock, that might be worth looking into. On the other hand, if the sentiment is weak, you may want to think twice. TipRanks also provides insights beyond analyst ratings, such as blogger sentiment, hedge fund activity, insider transactions, crowd wisdom, and even news sentiment. For some stocks, you might see bearish signals across the board, while for others, like Nvidia, you will find strong bullish sentiments. Another feature worth checking out is social sentiment. This tells you what people on platforms like Twitter are saying, whether they are bullish or bearish. It even shows you how the sentiment has changed over time. Moving on, the Financials tab gives you access to the company's income statements, balance sheet, and cash flow details, while the Dividends tab provides dividend history and payout info. But one of my favorite tools is at Trading Central Technical Insights. This section highlights recent technical indicator triggers and whether they are bullish or bearish. You can also switch the time frame between short-term, intermediate, and long-term. And by clicking on the alert button, you can even ask IBKR to notify you whenever specific technical signals are triggered. Right next to it is the Technical Views tab, where you'll find more detailed intraday and daily technical analysis. And last but not least, under the News tab, you will not only see the latest headlines related to the stock, but also research reports from various analysts. This can give you an extra layer of perspective when evaluating a company. Moving on to the Screeners tab. This is where you can build stock screeners to help you filter out companies that meet your specific investing criteria. IBKR allows you to create screeners in a few different ways. You can build them based on a blended score of factors, use a more traditional criteria-based screener, or simply start with one of IBKR's pre-built screeners if you prefer a ready-made option. For example, here I've created a screener to look for US high-growth stocks. The criteria I've set are companies with a market cap above $10 billion, at least 10% return on equity, 10% earnings per share growth, and 10% return on investment. I also want them to have a quick ratio of at least 1, so they don't carry too much debt compared to their assets. And I set a minimum average trading volume of $100,000 to ensure liquidity. With these filters, I will immediately get a refined list of stocks that I can then research in more detail. Here's another example, my Singapore Dividend Stock Screener. In this case, I'm looking for companies with a dividend yield between 1.5% and 7%, a net profit margin of at least 10%, and again, a minimum average volume of $100,000. This way, I can quickly spot potential dividend companies that also have strong profitability. Of course, you are not limited to IBKR's screeners alone. There are plenty of screeners that are available online that can complement your research. For instance, the popular Finviz screener collections on Reddit have ready-made setups that can help you screen for stocks based on both technical and fundamental criteria. Next, let's take a look at the Layouts tab. Here, you can fully customize how your workspace looks. By default, IBKR gives you a basic trading layout. This includes a rapid order panel, a charts panel, and some stock lists. It is a simple setup that works fine for most beginners. But if you click on the plus button at the top, you will see several other layouts to choose from. For instance, there's an options trading layout if you are into trading options, or an advanced trading layout that comes with more specialized panels for active traders. From there, you can adjust the layouts however you like. For example, if you don't need market depth, you can simply close that panel. Then, by clicking on the toolbox icon at the top right, you can find other panels to add, such as an additional stock chart. This is handy if you want to monitor different time frames. For example, you could keep your first chart set to an hourly interval and your second chart set to a daily interval. This gives you both short-term and long-term views at a glance. At the top right of every panel, you will notice a yellow link button. This indicates that all panels are currently linked. So if you switch to another stock, all link panels will update together. But let's say if you want your second chart to display a different stock, you can simply unlink the stock chart. Now, when you change stocks in your main panel, the second chart will stay fixed on the stock that you set earlier. So that's the Layout tab. Once you have set it up the way you like, you'll find it much easier to analyze the markets and place trades more efficiently. Last but not least, let's take a look at the options chain layout. This works much like what you would expect. You can pick out expiry dates and browse through different strike prices. By default, IBKR only lets you select one option at a time. So if you want to build a strategy with multiple legs, you will need to enable Strategy Builder. Once that is turned on, you can piece together different options. For example, if I sell a put and buy another put at a lower strike, that gives me the bull put spread. On the right hand side, IBKR will automatically generate a P&L chart based on your strategy. You can even adjust settings like max move and last trade date to see how profits and losses change over time. Further down, you'll find other useful metrics such as probability of profit, the Greeks, and more. Okay, here's a cool feature I want to show you. If you are not sure which strategy to use, you can check out the option wizard. Based on your market outlook, whether you expect the stock to go up, down, stay in the range, or change in volatility, IBKR can suggest different strategies for you to check out. So let's say I'm bullish on Nvidia, and I think it will go up. Here, I can choose a date on which I expect this forecast to come true, and how much I think the price will go up by. From there, IBKR will suggest different strategies to me. For example, I can sell a put option which have 68% to 76% probability of profit. Then there's the bull put option where the probability of profit is lower but max loss is lower as well. Or I can simply do a buy call where it will have the lowest probability of profit but the max profit is infinite. Finally, over at option analysis, you'll find quick stats like implied volatility versus historical volatility. For instance, both have been trending down since April, meaning options premiums are currently cheaper as compared to back then. So that was a quick walkthrough on the IBKR desktop platform. It is still a relatively new product, but IBKR has been actively updating and improving it, so you can expect to see more features down the road. Anyway, hope you found this useful. Like, share and subscribe as I'll be posting new videos every week.